Welcome back to Questions TV. I'm Lauren Lynch-Novakovic, and first, I'd like to give a very special thank you to UCloud USA CEO and producer Philip Strickland. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Whatever time of day it is, please stay tuned. I am so excited to introduce this new segment, Paths on Purpose, to the programming lineup here on UCloud TV. I love storytelling and how it is the founding block of our personal identity, our community organizing, and building political power. Understanding the importance, the nuance, and the beauty of storytelling in its many, many forms is so crucial. It can take you through a range of emotions as you prepare to share, be vulnerable, communicate your message, and ultimately connect with others. It impacts both the storyteller and the listener.
One theft every 6.5 minutes. 156 thefts every day. Car thieves appreciate all the help they can get. So here's a shout out to the more than 57,000 drivers who admittedly made it easy for the thieves last year. 57,000 who left the keys in their vehicle and had it stolen. A 22% increase in just a year. Old habits die hard, and thieves can't help themselves, especially when it's so easy. So why is it so difficult for some people to turn off the car, take the key or the fob, and lock it up before they walk away? Turn off the ignition and lock your vehicle every time you get out. Don't leave keys or fobs inside. Put all valuables out of sight in the trunk or take them with you. Lock it before you leave it. Don't make it easy for the thief. If you know something about vehicle theft or insurance fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB. That's 1-800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Storytelling is a very important tool, and this helpful infographic will help you understand a few things about it. So, good stories compel people to change. They compel us to change the way we feel. Stories demand an emotional investment. Have you ever heard a story from someone and you could immediately feel that rise or that energy and emotion within yourself? That's a good story. Good stories compel people to change the way that we think. Stories will pique and hold your interest. If someone's telling a story, you've often tuned out because, quite frankly, it's just not interesting enough, or their form of storytelling doesn't capture you. A good story will make you think about things. Good stories will also compel us to change the way that we act. Stories bring energy to the message. As I said just a moment ago, when you feel that stirring of energy and emotion, that energy causes you to act. That emotion in action is energy. And when someone is telling you a story that causes you to feel and to think, the next step, naturally, is for you to think about how you can act on that. And lastly, good stories compel people to change the way we behave. Stories cause us to take action. So when you put all of these pieces together and someone has told you a great story, you're able to connect, you're able to feel what they're saying, you're able to think about things and perhaps push back on your own societal norms and other things that you've been socialized to believe and perceive the world as. And then it will change how you act and eventually how you behave, because your behavior is but a sum of all of those actions.
You're not alone. Millions of people are in debt, but there's hope and help from members of the NFCC, the National Foundation for Credit Counseling. Convenient, knowledgeable, nonprofit, here for you, and you, and you. Be one of the 5 million people who will put debt in its place by 2020. Speak with an NFCC certified credit counselor at your local member agency today and put debt in its place. Go to nfcc.org/enddebt or call 844-359-3823.
Paths on Purpose seeks to connect you, the viewers, with different people as they reflect on their paths on purpose. So first you ask, what are paths on purpose? The title is a double entendre, meaning it has two meanings simultaneously. As individuals existing and living, we are all on a quest to recognize and realize our purpose. Why am I here? How can I impact others? What is my contribution to society and the world around me? Consequently, once you've identified your purpose, you will have to take paths on purpose, meaning intentionally, to carry it out and fulfill it. I will use this segment to talk to people realizing their purpose, diving into what it is, how they got there, and helpful tips along the way. Many of us haven't had formal training or even informal advice and support, or perhaps we have, and yet we were not fully prepared to hear it and learn the lesson. Allow this show, Paths on Purpose, to stir the embers if you've never even given thought to your purpose. Allow it to ignite the fire in you if you are still searching. And if you are already on your path or one of your many paths to purpose, allow this to serve as research, new skills, methods, and whatever other form of support you're needing to sustain you as you continue to elevate. As the infographic by Fathom illustrates plainly for us, we seek to change the way you feel, change the way you think, change the way you act, and change the way you behave, all for the better and all for your purpose. This segment will be split into two parts. The first focused on the person and their purpose. We will learn about their upbringing, their background, that moment that they realized their purpose, and that pivotal moment they began doing it on purpose. The latter portion will focus on the past, detailing the experiences, the growing pains, the examples, their support system, mentors, their self-care toolkit, and the best advice they've received and the wisdom they wish to impart to others. Excuses are monuments of nothingness. They build bridges to nowhere. Those of us who use these tools of incompetence seldom become anything but nothing at all. This is a quote from an unknown author that a friend of mine shared with me recently, and I think that this is often something we forget. We make a lot of excuses as to why we won't reach our purpose. We make a lot of excuses as to why we won't take specific paths on our purpose. We have to ask ourselves if we are willing to let our purpose fall by the wayside due to all of our excuses. Either it's an excuse or an improvement. What will you choose to do, and how will it lead you to fulfilling your purpose here and impacting others? I personally have had to take that step back and have some introspection and decide in which ways I was in my own way. While you're on your path to purpose, you'll realize that those growing pains often come from outside sources, but a lot of them are intrinsic. You'll have to deal with a lot of issues, a lot of childhood traumas, and other healing that might be right in your way. But you can do it, and it certainly will take the effort and the time. It's worth it, and it's one of many paths on your purpose. Once you've identified all of those things that you need to work on internally, it is crucial for you to reach out to others who might have the specific expertise to help you work on what those issues may be. Whether it is confidence that you need to pursue your purpose, or if it's actual skill sets, you should always align yourself with those who are ready and willing and able to help you in that capacity. Moving forward on your path, you'll realize that it doesn't feel so bad, even if you have to take that first step when it's kind of scary. As you continue on, even working through your fears, you'll develop that confidence on your own, and you will find many signs and affirmations along the way. As you are moving along, your many paths to purpose will often intersect with others on their paths to purpose. It is a great opportunity for you to share your path and help that other person. Also, be willing to listen, and actively so that you can pick up on whatever similarities you have that will affirm your choice and your path, and learn from someone else so that you don't have to make that same mistake on your own. Your paths to purpose will not be linear. They will have ups, they will have downs, they will have all kinds of turnarounds, but you have to stay the course. It's always good to break, and it's always good to check in with yourself. The worst thing you can do is quit and never try again. As you're moving on through this path, you will find the things that you try may work and the things that you try may not. Of course, trial and error is the best teacher. Experiential learning helps all of us to remember that when you touch that stove, it might have been hot. So moving forward, how will you better yourself? How will you prepare? How will you discern what risks are worth taking and if that fire will be hot or if it will be something worth jumping over? These are just a few of the things that I have run into on my many paths to purpose. And as I started this segment off, I think that one of my huge gifts and something so pivotal in terms of Paths on Purpose is storytelling. You have to be able to tell a story. People want to know, how did you get here and why? Where are you going? What are the things you've learned? What is the context? What are the settings? How many characters are in this story? Just as we learn in school, the art of storytelling, it is extremely important to keep it and make it your own as you tweak it and curate your own life and your own path on purpose. As you are moving through and elevating on your way, you will find that maybe certain people don't resonate with how you tell your story. Those are things that you'll want to keep in mind so that you can tweak them. You always want to be observant of who your crowd is and who's listening to your story. What is the message you're trying to get across? And tailor that specifically to what their interests are. You have to meet people where they are and speak to them in a language that they understand. If you know that this is something that they really care about, how can you use that metaphorically or symbolically when you're telling your story and engaging with that person? You will find that many people you meet will give you additional tools to add to your storytelling, and whether it's a meeting for work or a conversation with a friend or some encouragement and uplifting that you're doing for a family member, you are always telling a story. You want to be sure that you as the narrator are setting the tone, framing everything as you want it to be, and carrying out the message that you want the story to impart on your listeners.
Every year, 30,000 elephants are killed by poachers. 8 million tons of plastic is dumped into the ocean, and 18 million acres of forest disappear. And with them, many of the remarkable animals that share our planet. These animals need our help. Their very survival depends on our ability to protect them. Zoos and aquariums are on the front lines of wildlife conservation and inspire environmental stewardship amongst the millions of families that visit every year. And know that zoos and aquariums that have earned the Humane Certified Seal of Approval from American Humane will not give up until every species has a fighting chance for survival. Find out more and help protect and preserve the amazing creatures that share our world.
I once heard a young woman say, "Your experience is your expertise." How true indeed. Through the jobs you've worked, the living you've done, the fun you've had, and the pain that you've endured, your perspective is yours, and it informs how you show up and how you navigate the world. I want you to know, you do not have to perfect your story. You, just as you are, your story, just as it is, with the obstacles and the bumps, the perceived failures that are truly lessons if you reflect and learn and implement those changes. Someone somewhere right now needs to hear it. Someone scrolling through their social media, searching through Netflix, scanning through podcasts, wherever they are. They are searching for you, for the sign, the affirmation, the confirmation, for the encouragement, for that nudge to keep going. They are seeking you. Ask yourself how you can best tell and live your story for others to be inspired. Until next time, thanks for joining us here on Questions TV with UCloud USA, and a special thanks to our CEO and producer, Philip Strickland, for allowing us to bring this programming to you.